Something out of the ordinary is happening with Lamar Jackson. And this time, someone with real credibility finally said out loud what a lot of people keep pretending not to see. In the middle of nonstop criticism, doubt, and judgment that never seemed to go away, a former NFL star lost his patience and decided to draw a clear line. This wasn't a soft offense. It wasn't a rehearsed take. It was raw, emotional, and a direct message to everyone who keeps trying to tear Lamar down, no matter what he does on the field. And the timing couldn't be heavier. The season is on the line. Pressure is at its peak. The entire league is watching Baltimore. And Lamar is, once again, right in the middle of the storm. What this former player said exposes a pattern most people don't like to admit, and it completely changes how this whole narrative should be viewed. Stick around until the end, because once everything connects, it becomes clear why this debate is about way more than just one game, and why Lamar Jackson continues to be a name that makes so many people uncomfortable. You know that feeling when you look at something and think, this just isn't fair? That's exactly what happened with Ryan Clark. The former NFL player heard yet another wave of criticism aimed at Lamar Jackson and simply couldn't stay quiet anymore. In his eyes, what's being done to Lamar crossed a line a long time ago. Clark made it very clear that Lamar is judged in a way almost no one else in the league is. If the team loses, the finger immediately points at him. If injuries pile up, the blame somehow lands on him too. And this keeps happening even when Lamar gives everything he has on the field and carries the Ravens' offense on his back. From Clark's perspective, that constant judgment just doesn't add up. What bothers him the most is the feeling of a witch hunt. Other quarterbacks make mistakes, get hurt, fall short in big games, and the conversation fades quickly. With Lamar, it never does. Every detail turns into doubt, suspicion, and questioning. Clark calls exactly what it is. Unfair treatment. And that's where his defense really hits hard. Ryan Clark isn't just praising Lamar. He's demanding respect. Respect for what Lamar has already accomplished, for the impact he has on the game, and for how everything changes the moment he steps on the field. For Clark, the conversation should be simple. Lamar Jackson has already proven who he is. This is where the discussion becomes truly unfair. Lamar Jackson isn't a quarterback in development, and he's not someone still trying to prove he belongs among the elite. He's been there. He's won. He's been named the league's MVP twice. And yet, every time something goes wrong in Baltimore, it's like that resume suddenly disappears. Ryan Clark highlights this because the standard changes when the name is Lamar. Other quarterbacks miss reads, lose big games, and still get treated like cornerstones of their franchises. With Lamar, a mistake turns into a label. A loss turns into a question about his ability. The criticism is never isolated. It keeps stacking up. What's wild is that his impact is obvious to anyone who actually watches the team. The Ravens' offense comes alive when Lamar is on the field. Defenses have to prepare for things they don't face against almost any other quarterback. And yet, that reality rarely factors into the public conversation. Clark makes it clear the issue isn't criticism itself. It's a standard being used. Lamar isn't judged by the same measuring stick. And as long as that continues, this debate will stay twisted, no matter what he does on Sundays. While the noise gets louder outside the stadium, Lamar Jackson takes a completely different path. He doesn't try to win arguments on social media. He doesn't respond to every comment. And he doesn't play the victim. His response is quiet, steady, and built on work and professionalism. When questions come up about toughness or commitment, Lamar keeps it simple. Injuries are part of football. They're not a sign of a lack of effort or weakness. They're the reality of a brutal sport that pushes the body to its limits every single week, especially for someone who carries as much responsibility as he does. Instead of wasting energy trying to convince people who've already made up their minds, he focuses on what he can control: preparation, studying the game, practice, and leadership inside the locker room. That choice says a lot about how he views his role and his responsibility to the team. Ryan Clark sees this as maturity. While many get lost in the noise, Lamar keeps doing what he's always done. He works, he leads, and he lets his play do the talking, even when the judgment comes before the performance.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important, because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
The moment all of this explodes couldn't be more symbolic. The Ravens season comes down to a head-to-head matchup, with the division, the playoffs, and an entire narrative on the line. And it's exactly in moments like this that Lamar Jackson ends up under a different kind of microscope. For Ryan Clark, this is the clearest proof of the double standard. When other quarterbacks enter must-win games, the conversation is about the challenge ahead. With Lamar, it turns into a test of legitimacy, as if he still needs to prove something he's already shown time and time again. The pressure doesn't come only from the opponent. It comes from the storyline. Every pass, every run, every decision seems to carry more weight than it should. It's not just about winning or losing. It's about maintaining an image that never seems to be considered good enough. Clark points to this as a structural problem. Expectations around Lamar are never neutral. They come loaded from the start, and that completely distorts how his performances are judged. Once the game kicks off, the noise starts to fade. Lamar Jackson transforms the Ravens' offense in ways very few players can. The unpredictability, the constant threat, and the ability to create something out of nothing completely change the defensive game plan on the other side. This isn't just about stats. It's about presence. The team plays differently when he's on the field. Confidence rises, options expand, and the offense finds its identity. That's why teammates continue to stand firmly behind him, no matter what's being said outside the building. Ryan Clark keeps coming back to this because leadership isn't about speeches. It's about daily influence, showing up in tough moments, and being the reference point when everything tightens up. And Lamar fills that role naturally inside the locker room. At the end of the day, the message is simple. While the debate keeps spinning in circles, Lamar keeps doing what he's always done, playing the game, leading his team, and trying to deliver when it matters most. For Clark, that should have ended the discussion a long time ago. All of this makes one thing very clear. The conversation around Lamar Jackson is almost never just about football. It's about expectations, standards, and how some players have to prove twice as much to get half the recognition. Ryan Clark didn't speak out on impulse. He spoke from experience, having seen firsthand how much Lamar changes a team, a game, and even the way the quarterback position is viewed. When the noise gets loud, what becomes obvious is that Lamar's impact goes far beyond the final score. While critics keep searching for reasons to doubt him, Lamar continues to respond the same way he always has, by playing, leading, and carrying the weight when things get tight. There's no scripted speech, no victim mindset, just responsibility and presence in the biggest moments. And maybe that's exactly what bothers people the most, because not everyone knows how to deal with someone who challenges the traditional mold and still delivers results. Now I want to know what you really think. So drop in the comments. Is Lamar Jackson judged more harshly than other elite quarterbacks in the NFL? Or is this level of pressure fair for someone at his level? Leave your take below, join the conversation, and stay locked in. Because as long as Lamar Jackson is on the field, this debate isn't going anywhere.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.